Hey everybody, this is your Media Black Academic here, and I am joined by my man DK for Fresh and Unfiltered, where we give some of the hot takes on the issues, news, information that are popping around the zeitgeist. DK, what's going on, man? Super Bowl Sunday. Got the Sunday
Yeah,
night Super Bowl. You ready?
I'm ready, man. I'm excited. I'm not a Eagles fan. I'm not a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I'm a fan of good football, and both of these are excellent teams, so I'm excited to see them play. Um,
Yep.
hoping, hoping to see a good game. Sometimes these things are blowouts. Sometimes they're defensive struggles. I want to see something in between where there's some scoring, there's some hopefully some suspense. Like I don't want to see a game where I know who's going to win in like the first 3 minutes of the game. I want to see some hits. I want to see some great commercials, and of course Kendrick Lamar halftime show.
That's
You
right.
know
That's
all the
right.
commercials, the halftime
So,
show. You got all the good things going
what do you
on.
think about this, man? So, hate to interrupt you, DK, but
Yeah,
listen, I have been feeling, and I know I'm going to get some hate for this, but I've been feeling a little bit bad for Drake, man. And this is why. This is why. The American Heart Association this week said that They're Not Like Us could be used as a song to resuscitate people. Remember what they did with Staying Alive, how the rhythm or the beats per minute for Staying Alive was conducive to people reviving people if their heart stopped, for cardiopulmonary resuscitation CPR.
oh
You remember
wow,
this?
yeah.
You remember Staying Alive? So now they're saying They're Not Like Us could also be a song used to help
Not
resuscitate
like
people.
us. Not like
They're
us.
not like us. They're
They're
not
not
like
like
us, right?
us. They're
So
not
so check
like
this
us.
out. Right. So remember, K Dot, Kendrick Lamar, won an award for that song last week at the Grammys.
Right.
So okay, let's just take this out, right? You had this rap beef with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Okay, they're going back and forth. Drake releases push-ups. Then you had Metro Beats doing what's BBL Drizzy, right? So that was
BBL Drizzy. That was
BBL Drizzy,
hot.
which was
That was
kind of
really
a
hot.
cool song, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So now you got BBL Drizzy, that was really popular. Okay, that's a diss
Yeah.
on Drake. Push ups had
He
its
was able
own
to
moment
take BBL Drizzy and make that his too. He was able to kind of play off of that a little bit.
a
So
little
that
bit, but
one, like
it
he was
wasn't as
still in the
strong
battle.
as
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know if it was as strong as Metro Beat, like just
No.
going introducing it in the first place. Then you've
True.
got They're Not Like Us, which became the 2024 anthem. That was the anthem for
Yeah.
2024. Okay,
For
and
everybody. Yeah.
everybody, people were rapping to it. You had
Mm-hmm.
celebrities rapping to it. You had the world rapping to it. Kendrick Lamar wins a Grammy for that song. I think the first time that a an award was given for a rap beef song. Okay,
Mm.
now you've got the medical community saying, "Yeah, that's a great song if you want to bring somebody back to life." To me, it's just constant L's for Drake. He wanted
Yeah.
to sue, or he tried to sue any subsidiary, any company that was playing They're Not Like Us because it alluded to the fact that he might be a predator, right?
Right.
Or an SA
Mm-hmm.
offender, right? And so with that line A minor, right? So he wanted to eliminate anyone from playing that song because he thought that was slanderous, right?
Right.
So they're still going to play it. I'm sure they're going to be playing it at the halftime show, one of the
Um, I,
biggest
I have an important
shows.
question though. Does that
Yeah.
officially mean Drake has lost the beef? Like, is it totally over now? When you
Oh
start
my God.
suing your
Drake
opponent,
officially
that
lost
means
the
you were
beef in
lost.
20 Drake officially lost the beef in 2024,
Oh
DK.
gosh.
This is
Yeah.
like this is just extra nails in the coffin so he can't even push his way out if he were to come back to life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's going to take a Herculean effort, I think, for him to go past the legacy of this song. And I was trying to think of how he could do it. Like he would have to come out with like some crazy song, and then if he didn't write it, that's going to be called into question. Like, how legit is the song if he didn't even write it and he had a ghostwriter write it for him? I mean, acting, he does have a past in acting. Maybe for him to get past some of this gloom, he would have to come out in a movie or something and show that he has
Yeah.
acting chops on top of his, just to
Mhm.
remind people, hey, I'm a double threat because I don't think well,
A lot of
some
times
people might
making
say he
fun of
can,
yourself
right?
kind of helps, kind of show you're a good sport, make fun of yourself. Maybe
That
you
might
go on
be it.
Saturday Night Live and have people keep playing the diss on you, and then yeah,
Yeah,
and kind of embrace it and make it take the power away by embracing it, making fun of yourself, right? But
I
let's
think,
get back to. I know you're not really a sports guy. Let's
yeah,
get back
yeah,
to
yeah.
sports, man. Let's get back to
Okay, we'll
football.
get back to
We have
sports,
the
but I do want to say
Eagles.
one thing
Mhm.
to
All
add
right,
to
one
what
thing.
you're saying
Okay, all right.
really quickly, is that he could say it and say, "Look, for Lamar to win an award, he still had to use me to win it. Like I still had
Yeah,
to be a part of
yeah,
his success." So if he kind of
certainly.
frames it in that way, like you can't get a Grammy without me being a part of the of your success, maybe he
Yeah,
could kind of claim it a little bit. But yeah, let's get back
yeah.
to the game. We got
All
the
right.
Chiefs and the Eagles today.
Yeah,
The Chiefs looking for their three-peat, which has never
yeah.
been done.
No.
I know a lot of people are going to be looking for Taylor Swift and Kelsey. Kelsey's talking about maybe retiring after this season.
Yeah.
So I think some people want the Chiefs to win so Kelsey can get even a bigger ring for Taylor Swift. I don't know. I have no
All right.
idea, man.
All right. So what's the biggest draw? Okay, for you, if you had to rank the biggest draw, you got three items that happens in the Super Bowl. You have the game, a
Yeah,
competitive football game between the two best football teams in the country. You got commercials too. You got commercials from the best, $8 million commercials that were produced for probably the same amount of money, 30 seconds a piece, coming out,
yeah.
very entertaining. And then three, which we talked about just now, the halftime show. What are your priorities in looking at the football game? What's the most important
I
top
mean,
three?
just good football, some excellent athleticism. We've
Okay.
seen it throughout the season with the Eagles. I mean, you've got guys who can just hop over people, flip over people, jump over people.
Yeah.
I think a lot of
Yeah.
people are excited to see what kind of athleticism they're going to see today. I think
Okay.
some people are going to be excited to see if the Chiefs are going to win for a third time in a row. I think that some people are looking to see if Mahomes can really break Tom Brady's records, and
Yeah.
he would be the GOAT. If he wins today, people are going to start talking about Mahomes as the GOAT. And I
Wow.
think that he's already surpassed or has tied some of Brady's leading records. So
Oh
that's where you're
wow.
getting some people already having this conversation. And I think it'll cement that in a lot of people's minds if he's able to take the Chiefs for another win. Of course, you have the Eagles, big favorite closer to the DMV area, where you have
Yeah.
Philadelphia not too far away, just a couple hours out.
Now, yeah.
So, mhm.
Are you going to go
What
to
do you think?
Philly? If Philly wins, you're going to go to Philly and get in that mess. You saw how
No,
they acted
no.
once they beat Washington. They filled the streets with green shirts, climbing on poles, and all the other
Yeah,
things when a championship happens. And it's not. This is not just Philadelphia, okay? Let's just say that for the record. Anywhere in the world, your team wins a championship of any type, you can see people in the streets tipping over cars, climbing on stuff, doing silly
yeah.
things. So I don't want to disparage Philadelphia, but they are known for being a little outrageous
They're a
and
little
tough.
unruly.
Yeah,
Let's
a
put it
little
this way.
unruly. Unruly. There you
They're a
go.
little
Yeah.
unruly. I
Okay.
mean, we saw clips of them last week or 2 weeks ago when they
Mm-hmm.
won, and they stole like there was like, did you see the clip where they stole a guy's hat? Like they were heckling
No.
him.
Oh
One of the
gosh. Yeah.
commanders, yeah, when they beat the commanders, and the guy was walking around, they were heckling him. Then one guy
Yep.
ended up stealing his hat. I learned later on that hat was burned, so they burned the guy's hat,
Oh
right?
wow.
And I doubt that somebody said, "Oh, let me reimburse you, good
You
sir, for the hat
know,
we just stolen
and
from your head and immolated." Give him
yeah,
reimburse him for the
and
cost of the hat. I don't
and
think that would
as a
happen.
sports guy though, you're kind of like okay, and you're Philly too, and you got off easy. You got off easy, so it's like okay, well that happened because you come to Commander Stadium, that might happen. Not with the new Commanders, not the old Washington football team or with the Redskins and all that. Now, the new Commanders, where we have this pride, this bravado, then we have a little bravado and less pain. We might have something like that happening around our area too. We may have
But it's so
fewer
it's
Dallas
both.
Cowboy things and other things happening in the area. We'll see.
So,
We'll see.
so you think the former Washington football team, you think they were more hardcore than the Commanders today?
Uh, I would say the Commanders are on par with the '80s Washington football team. Well, '80s.
I
Someone was
meant
going to call them the Redskins in terms of
as far
bravado.
as like pushing back against ridicule and
Yeah.
bullying and stuff like that. Do you think they're as tough? I know their record and their performance so far
Mm,
has been
they're
on
getting
par
there.
with.
They're getting there. I think we've had like in 2012 we had a flash like that. We had a year where we thought we were world beaters. We thought we had the best quarterback in the country, and we ended up having one year, and then we went back to mediocrity. And we don't want that. So we're waiting we're all really in the back of our minds. We're holding our breath to make sure that this is real. It's not just 1 year because we're really just rebuilding. We really just
Yeah.
started to rebuild last year, so and we surpassed all expectations with a 12 win season or 14 win season if you include the playoffs. So that's really surprising, and it may throw
Mhm.
people off in terms of expectations because we have a rookie quarterback. So this is going to be a second year next year, and we have a
Yep.
team where half the players may not be back yet next year. So and but it feels good. I'm going to have a great year. I'm having a great year already. We won a bunch of games. I'm feeling good. I'm talking about the Super Bowl and the Commanders in the same sentence, which wouldn't have been something to talk about in the past, right? I wouldn't even thought about bringing up the Commanders years ago. Anyway,
Yeah, it would have
that's
been unheard of.
football. I'm
People would have
picking. All right,
thought you were crazy.
give me your prediction. We have 5 minutes left. We still have to talk about the naked issue in the air. So, what's your prediction? Kansas City, Philadelphia. What's the score?
I say, oh, the score.
Yeah,
I
let's pick a
say
score.
35-27 Chiefs.
Oh wow, okay. I'm going 21-14 Philadelphia with
Ooh,
Saquon
okay.
Barkley running for 170 yards. That's what I'm
Okay,
gonna
we'll
pick.
see.
I'm gonna pick Philly. I don't like Philly, but I'm gonna take Philly.
The thing is, I
Hmm.
actually prefer Philly over the Chiefs, though, to be honest, because they're
Yeah,
I've been to Philly. I like Philly. I have friends in Philly. Yeah, so if Philly won, I'd be very happy. I just feel like the momentum is behind the Chiefs right now. They've been here before.
right.
You know what I mean? This is nothing new for them, actually, right?
Yeah,
And I think a lot of people would be excited for them to win 3 times in a row.
yeah,
We did see Jaden Daniels win Rookie of the Year or
yeah,
no,
yeah. Rookie, offensive rookie of
Defensive
the year.
Rookie of the
Offensive,
Year. I
yeah.
think he
Hmm.
got.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
so
did.
that
Yep.
was really good to see him win. Did Hurt win anything? Did
Jalen
Hurt
Hurt,
win?
no, but he's in the Super Bowl, so I think he's a Pro Bowl. Is he a Pro Bowler? I think he's
I
a
have
Pro
to check. I have
Bowler.
to check
I'm not
on that, but
sure, but
I
he's
know
in the Super
Daniels
Bowl
definitely won.
and he recovered from an injury this year too. So that's that. He had a concussion from the first Commanders game. He recovered from pretty well.
Yeah.
Speaking of a concussion, when I first saw this, I felt like I was concussed. If you look here,
Oh, oh, who's that? Is that
we
Bianca
have
Sensori?
oh
Or is it sensory? I can. How do you pronounce
I,
DK? How do you pronounce her last name? Is it sensory or sensory?
it feels sensory. Like my eyes are about to bulge out of my head.
Ah,
I can't keep the picture up too long because it's a little I would say extreme for a public. It's number one. That's a man and his wife, Kanye West and his wife, and she has made her husband relevant. And there's a debate going on about whether or not Kanye, because as we know, he's fantastic at marketing. He doesn't have music out right now. He doesn't have a video out right now. He doesn't have a new clothing line out right now. But everybody's talking about Kanye West. And it's because his
man.
wife showed up at this event looking
A
like,
lot of controversy. A lot of
all right,
controversy. Just to paint a picture for some of you out there who may not have been following the more trivial news in our news cycle, but
there you
at the
go.
Grammys last week, about a week ago today, Kanye, well, Ye, formerly known as Kanye, really showed up with his wife Bianca Sensory, Censori. I don't know if it's sensory or sensory, but for a lot of people, it was
Hmm.
sensory overload. Let's put it that way. She showed
Yep.
up with a fur coat on. I don't know if it was fake fur or not, black fur coat. And on the red carpet, she dropped the fur coat to reveal a sheer dress. And when I say sheer, you saw everything. I mean, she
Yeah.
might
It
as well
was.
not have been wearing anything.
I think it was
And
basically body pantyhose, kind of. Yeah.
basically, right. It was
Yeah.
almost like those naked sheer
Hmm.
pantyhose color, the nude color
Yeah.
that was to me actually thinner than the stockings that women wear
Right.
because you could really see everything. So
Yeah.
of course, people took pictures of her, and that was it was trending. Let's put it that way. Now,
Yeah.
to what you were saying, DK, that Ye is a great marketer. He recently said he beat the Grammys, and what does he mean by that? She was the number one searched name
Yeah.
for that day and the day following. So his
Hmm.
wife was the number one searched item on the internet. So here we had Beyonce winning an award. We had other people make, accepting awards, groundbreaking speeches. They were raising money for the fires, the Palisades fire and the Eaton fires, all of these things that would normally grab more
Right.
headlines, and
Hmm.
people were searching for the nude photo of Ye's
Yeah.
wife and the fallout from that. And so he said, "We beat the Grammys. My wife beat the Grammys," and you can't refute it. He literally meant that. And when you look at the statistics, the searchable names, the searchable items, hers was number one. So
Wow.
he has a point. He has a point.
And
Now,
and I do want to say that in the pictures I've seen, she didn't look frightened. She didn't look scared. She didn't look insecure at all. She looked very proud and strong as she presented herself, of her, of herself. I think there was a bit of a debate as we closed the last minute of whether or not she was exploited by Kanye. But to me, it seemed like she didn't seem like uncomfortable whatsoever. And she is a model type woman, so being scantily clad might not be something that she is foreign to. What's your take, Colin?
yeah, definitely. Listen, this is Bianca Censuri. We've seen her wearing basically nothing all the time. Remember, they've been known to take trips together, especially like when they went to Italy together and they were riding in the gondola and they were doing some things that you probably shouldn't be doing in public in the gondola in Italy.
All right,
Once
go
they were
ahead.
booted from the boat or once they were told that they needed to tone things down a little bit, you still saw her wearing basically nothing. She was always scantily clad. So I don't
Mm.
think that she is foreign to this whatsoever. And she does have a modeling history, by the way. She's known to be an architect. I think that is her trade and how she was making her money for a while. But she's also a model. Let's put it this way. I mean, she is definitely in shape. Some may argue, some may say she's too small or too skinny or bony or whatever you want to say.
Oh,
She's not foreign to doing some dietary restriction, and not she's definitely not foreign to trying not to overindulge in food. She's definitely not foreign to doing some kind of exercise. Let's put it that way. However aesthetic you guys all like out there, I know it's on a spectrum, but I will say there are a lot of women who would like to have the physique she has, regardless of how much meat you don't think she has on her body or not. And I think that
and
Ye
the
was trying to show that off. You know, one thing, DK, that people were talking about, they made a lot of buzz on The View or some show with Meghan McCain. Meghan McCain was obviously the former late senator from Arizona, John McCain's daughter. She has been on The View. I don't know if she's still on The View, but she might still have some influence. She came out saying how repugnant she thought it was to see
mm,
Bianca out on the red carpet bearing it all. And they blamed Ye. Another person who did this was Megyn Kelly, the perpetual troll of black culture, Megyn Kelly, the one who used to
mm,
be on Fox News, the one who also didn't understand why blackface wasn't okay. And Al Roker had to school her up on that a bit
mm.
on her history. Well, of course, like I call her the perpetual troll of black culture, she was also trashing Ye about bringing his wife on the red carpet. I do find that a little bit crazy. I do want to get your opinion on this, DK, but a lot of people seem to have more anger and ire and vitriol for Ye than they actually have for a fully grown woman who I believe is 30 years old. It's not like she's a kid.
Uh,
It's not
oh,
like she's still in her developmental parts of her cognitive abilities still forming, like in your early 20s. She
right.
is a fully grown 30-year-old woman who has been scantily clad on a number of
Yeah.
occasions. She knew what she was doing. Why do so many people seem to have more anger towards Ye?
I think the juxtaposition between the African American male and the seemingly European featured female, where, and I'm not going to say it's just that, because first of all, let's put this in perspective. They were not at church, they were at the Grammys,
Right.
and
Yep.
people
We're a
performing
lot of people are
from
edgy.
people are edgy. Most of the women are performing in what could be compared to bathing suits or
Yeah.
underwear already. Very few women are wearing ball gowns when they perform. So women are already half naked at the Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's empowering when they say, when you ask them about why are you wearing what you're wearing, they are empowered by being able to express themselves as a beautiful physical specimen. So I don't. We shouldn't go into this assuming that this woman, who is a model, is ashamed of her body or was made to do this. Again, she didn't look scared. She didn't look drugged up. She didn't look uncomfortable. She didn't seem like someone that was doing this against her will. If anything, she's now someone that has gone from obscurity to stardom, where I would see that you might see her a lot more moving forward. And Kanye, being the great marketer that he is, if she had the idea of maybe I should go there naked, he probably said, you know what, that is a good idea. You'll be household name, and I'll be relevant for a little bit, and we'll both make it off. But I don't think he's a person that would have made her or can make her go out there naked. And I don't know if you can actually make a woman go somewhere naked if she doesn't want to in 2025. Maybe you
Well,
can, but I don't see it. I don't see it.
according to that hat he always wears, maybe he's trying to make her great again. I don't know. But this is the thing with Kanye at the end. Listen, when you have Megyn Kelly and then both Megans, Meghan McCain, Megyn Kelly,
Mhm,
coming out and really uh, sharply rebuking, let's put it that way, Yay for this. To me, it almost supports stereotypes about black men in a way because
mhm,
the way they have framed it is that Ye is like this predator who has mind control over his wife
mhm,
to make her do things that she doesn't want to do. And to me, that again speaks to the influence of. I know this sounds maybe like an extreme, but again,
mhm.
Emmett Till, various situations where you had a
Yeah.
white woman, black man, and Till wasn't even a man; he was a boy. But you have
Right.
a black male, white woman, or white female aesthetic there, and people want to be heavily critical of it, and that's what I get out of it. Because this is the
Mhm,
thing. Let me put it this way, DK. If Ye was to come out one day and say, I never let my wife walk out of the house unless she's covered up appropriately. I watch what she wears so that she's never too revealing. They would complain that he was controlling there and that
right.
she didn't have
Right.
her own agency and autonomy and that he was controlling her clothes and who does he think he is, the Taliban, and make all these other comparisons to
Mhm,
Middle Eastern people who might be more, who, as part of their culture, are more fully clothed. They probably would have made those comparisons. Here he is letting her do whatever she wants to do, and he's still defamed and still discredited for it. So to me, it's almost like a catch-22 in certain situations, right? And
Yeah.
one more thing,
Mhm,
what happened to body positivity? Thought there was a whole movement with ladies advocating for body positivity and celebrating the woman's body. Can we only do that if it's a woman who has been conventionally fitting the description of overweight, who wants to show off her cleavage and her
mhm,
all her curves, and we're supposed to celebrate that. But here we have a woman who a lot of people would say she's in great shape, very physical, like you almost said, a physical specimen, and we're supposed to condemn that. There are a lot of mixed messages here, and I think that's why we see sometimes a culture clash because you have people on one side saying this is what you should find acceptable, even if we aesthetically may not like it, and then they're telling us this is what you should find contemptible, even if we're saying, oh, hey, that she looks pretty good, you know what I
right.
mean? So
Yeah.
I think there's that hypocrisy that's playing out there. I
You
think that
know,
Ye is pushing back from that hypocrisy.
and again, she is a model type lady, and I think it's also cultural too. And this might also be revealing more. It may also speak more to the relationship that white women have with their husbands as opposed to black men and their wives have, because the power dynamic might be. I'm not going to say it is. Might be a bit different in the houses with Megyn Kelly and the other Megan you mentioned earlier. That if
Meghan
they did
McCain.
something of that nature, if they went out with their husbands and they were naked, it would be because their husband made them go out there naked. Whereas if we go out there and we're married, not saying this is with a traditional marriage with an African American, women tend to be have a more powerful role in our families. Period. On average, I'm not gonna say every marriage is the same. So if you
Yeah,
see, yeah, yeah,
when you look at some of the dynamics when it comes to
mm-hmm,
dating, especially when it comes to black society, remember there was that huge controversy with Keke Palmer going to the Usher concert and what she wore and her
mm-hmm,
interaction with Usher. The guy, the father of Keke Palmer's child, seemed
yeah,
to have very little influence
Yeah.
on how
Hmm.
she acted, so she had a very bold role. She was empowered. She had her own agency to say, this is what
Yeah.
I'm wearing. I don't care if you think it's
Yeah.
not enough. This is
Yeah.
how I'm interacting with Usher. And a lot of people said, hey, leave Kiki alone, let her do what she wants to do. And so when it comes from our society, it speaks to what you're saying, that women tend to have a lot of agency, a lot of
Hmm.
freedoms, a lot of independence, with the guy in the relationship kind of having more of a diminished voice in a lot of
Yeah.
moments. And that
Hmm.
might be a bit different in white society, and maybe they're looking at it through that lens. And maybe, just maybe, they're jealous of the autonomy that Bianca is able to have with Ye versus the
Yeah.
relationships that they're in, right? Maybe they
Yeah.
would love to be, because let's take a, not to really parse things out too much, but Megan Kelly, she, for a lot of her indiscretions and a lot of her more critical moments that we could critique, and with much veracity, I feel like she looks like a person who tries to keep in shape. Maybe she's a type who would want to go out there and show off a little bit more of her physique, but she's controlled more by her husband, or she feels that she can't do it because of the judgment she would get from her family. So instead of
Hmm.
trying to advocate and say, hey, more women should be doing this, she's going the other direction and saying, oh, this is the worst thing in the world, and he's got to be holding her hostage, and she
Yeah.
looks like she's scared, and all of these,
And and
adding all this negativity where there
and
might
it,
be none of it.
right, and it goes to the demonization of African American men, or just the perception of black men through the lens of popular rap music, where the black man is this all powerful pimp that has this way to mesmerize women with their gold chains and their money, and is controlling, and all these things that don't reflect the reality and the diversity of the African American men of the country. Then I
Right.
guess I can see it, but this is not Dolomite. You know what I'm saying? It's not like '70s and some black
Yeah, it's not
exploitation
like it's
film.
not like Ye the Pimp or something
This
like
is
that.
like Kanye West, the softest of the rappers. He's never been a gangster rapper, never been
Well,
accused of being a
Drake is a little
gangster.
softer than Ye. What do you
Well,
think?
yeah, but they're in the
Drake is
same
very
group
soft.
though. If you look at the Powder Puff crew, like there's one end of the rappers,
The Powder Puff.
you got 50 Cent,
Oh
you got
wow.
50 Cent,
Oh,
and debatably Rick Ross and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and those guys kind of on the hyper
uh,
masculine side of the don't step in my shoes, or get to catch the blues type of dudes. And then you have the
right.
other side, and you got like guys like Kanye West and Drake and the little guy's name? The skateboarding guy. I forgot. He's
Oh,
um
Pharrell
not oh yeah,
or
Pharrell's in
you
there. Yeah,
thinking
so
of
and then somewhere in the middle you have Common, and those type of guys. But yeah, but see, Yeezy is all the way over in the soft side of town. He's not gangster at all. He's not somebody that you associate with dominating another person in any way other than having fantastic creative acumen. But he's not,
right.
he's not like it was 50 Cent maybe and Vivica Fox or something like that. Then I was like, oh, 50, maybe 50, I don't know. But it's
Yeah.
still, let's come on,
So were you
come on.
thinking of Pharrell, or were you thinking of Lupe Fiasco?
Nope, both of those on the same level. They're both on that side of the spectrum of soft rappers.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah,
saying like those are the skateboarding rappers.
yeah.
The
The
woman I was
softer
talking
guys.
about
Yeah.
is Julia Fox, the British
Okay.
woman, the white woman he dated for a while. She
Mhm.
also wore some risque clothing. Like that
Yeah.
to me, I feel like Ye definitely fashions himself
Mhm.
as this transcendent rapper, fashion designer, culture
Yeah.
icon. And I feel like once
Mhm.
he gets with a woman, he tries to get her to push the boundaries and go beyond limits. We saw it with Kim K. We
Mhm.
saw it with Julia Fox. He dated a model, a younger model in there somewhere. Like I forgot her name. I don't want to say it's Imani, but something like that. And now we're seeing it with Bianca Sensori or Sensori. And I think that his influence over the women he dates is something that he prides himself in affecting whenever he is with someone. And then, of course, he married this woman. So I feel like he wanted his influence to be pervasive over her overall aesthetic. And she definitely pushed boundaries. For some people, it was a little bit too far. But for Ye, this was a big victory for him because he's the one who sucked up all that attention coming from the Grammys that probably should have gone other places, right? but we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about him as the number one item coming from the Grammys from last weekend. We probably should be talking about Beyonce and how she is the first woman, black woman, to win for the best album and have it be a country music album, especially since she was shut out of the Country Music Awards. Remember the big snub from the
Yeah.
Country Music Awards, and a lot of people are like, "Oh man, she didn't get anything." Here she ends up winning Album of the Year, beating Taylor Swift even. So that should
Uh,
be the number one conversation, right?
I
But
have a
we're
question
talking
for
about
you.
Ye.
I have a
We're
question
talking
for
about
you.
yeah.
If Kanye was there with Grace Jones and she was wearing the same outfit, would there be a controversy? And Grace Jones has been known to be naked, and she's older. She's older, so say she was in her prime, and her
Yes,
prime was 20 or 30 years ago, and she was showing up places
right.
naked all the time of her own volition. Because you know Grace Jones is known for being strong. She was in Conan the Destroyer as a warrior, and
You know
so
when
she
she
showed
dated
up
Dolph
there with
Lundgren.
yeah, she dated Dolph Lundgren. So, and Dolph
Yeah.
Lundgren's a powerful looking guy. So if they showed
Yeah.
up somewhere and she was naked. Would that be, hey, Dolph Lundgren's making Grace Jones appear naked? Is that would you say would people allege that same thing or?
I was gonna say if okay, say she was dating Ye, say Grace Jones was dating
Mm-hmm.
Ye right now,
He
okay,
might show
and
up
she
naked.
I
I'm
think
sorry, go
I
ahead.
think people would not give Ye as much heat
Mm-hmm.
as they have been. I think that a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's Grace Jones just being Grace Jones. That
Right,
she's always been edgy. She has her own
right,
agency. Blah blah blah." And I don't think there would be as much heat for Ye. But the fact that it's Bianca, not as known, not as well known, also a white woman. I think that a lot of people have more daggers
yeah,
for Ye. Plus, he does say a lot of controversial things. I
he
mean, most
does.
recently, he
Yeah,
says some things that many felt to be anti-Semitic. He's pushing back against that.
true.
So
Yeah,
he's always saying something that really rubs people the wrong way.
yeah.
Even Don Lemon himself, he came out. By the way, speaking about Don Lemon
Mm-hmm.
and the former anchor of CNN, recently Ye came out with daggers for Don Lemon, calling him the animal
Yeah, called him
equivalent
a
to
coon
the
or something.
master
Yeah.
marauder that
Mm-hmm.
raids our garbage cans every now and then, right? And so Don
Mm-hmm.
Lemon's like, hey, I did not come out with the rumor saying that you were kicked out of the Grammys. Apparently, Ye was under the impression that Lemon came out and said that he was booted from the Grammys when that wasn't true. Apparently, they went onto the red carpet. Ye knew that his wife dropping her fur coat would be the talk of the town, would cause
Mm-hmm.
a stir. Once they took all the pictures that he allowed them to take, because he can be very protective over his pictures, she
Right.
put back on her coat and they left. They didn't stay for the
Yeah.
Grammys. And so there was a rumor that he was booted from the Grammys because
Right.
of the risky outfit that she had on.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Ye thought that Don Lemon started that rumor, but he didn't. Lemon came out and said, "Hey, I didn't start the rumor. I corrected the rumor. Someone from Ye's team came up to me and said, "Hey, you need to fix the narrative that's coming out." He was not
Right.
booted from the Grammys, and I guess Lemon was in his broadcast, podcast, whatever he does, maybe with his colleagues, he was actually trying to tell the
Mm-hmm.
truth
Clear
that
the
he should
air.
not,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
as they say, by the time when a lie is told, it goes around the world several times before the truth catches up with it.
Right.
Ye caught wind that maybe it was Lemon, or there was some miscommunication there. Ye already went to X and called Lemon names. Lemon, of course, fired back and was just like, "Hey, maybe that MAGA hat you're always wearing is a little bit too tight around your head.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
loosen that up because I'm not the one who started that rumor, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of back and forth there, and the
Mm-hmm.
after effects of 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 his wife wearing close to nothing. It's
Right.
been nuts. Of course, the
And
small
again, this is and
small
let's
beating.
make sure we're clear about this too, because we don't want to put lump Kanye in the same category. Number one, he over responded to Don Lemon because I also saw that, and I also saw that part of that article was that Kanye's people reached out to Lemon to help clear the air, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
they
that
did.
was that's the thing where Kanye is so out of the loop that he punished Don Lemon for helping him clear the air or helping his team clear the air. And but then also I want to clarify that this is Kanye West's wife, so it's not a human trafficking situation. It's not exploitive.
Oh,
She is
not
of
at all.
age, and to the point that I guess we didn't include this part. She was wearing a fur coat going in and out of the event. She was covered.
Yeah.
She was not just walking around naked. She had on a fur coat,
No, no. She
and
she walked up with the coat on and
yeah,
dropped it when she was on the
she
red
dropped it.
carpet.
Yeah, on the red carpet, which the red
Hmm.
carpet is filled with strange and extreme happenings. Her being naked, was it Jaden Smith wearing a castle on his head?
Yeah,
People
what was that
do a lot
about
of weird
with
things that grab attention
yeah, what
at
was
the
that about
Grammys.
him wearing
Yeah,
you had Willow and Jaden, right?
yeah,
Appearing on the red carpet together.
yeah,
By the way, I just want to say Willow looked great. I like the way
yeah.
that she's coming into her own.
You know,
You
and
know, after
she
her
was
being
showing some skin
a
too.
little kid, I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth,
Yeah,
right? And now she's really maturing. She looked great. I do wonder what the deal was with Jaden with the black castle looking thing on his head. I don't get it. But no, he's always tried to push boundaries himself. I guess we should be thankful that he didn't show up naked on the red carpet, right?
I'm
You know
def-
what I mean?
I'm definitely
Like
thankful he did not show up on the red carpet naked.
me too, but you never
So
know. You never know one of these days. I wouldn't be
you
surprised if somebody
know,
said Jaden Smith showed up to the Grammys wearing nothing but a cup. I'd be like, yeah, that tracks. That sounds about right. I could totally see him doing that.
oh
I
wow,
do want to jump back to a little something about perception of black men, though, which you
okay,
touched upon.
that's smart.
When like you said with human trafficking, we it sounds like an exaggeration, though, right? Some people who
Hmm.
might be watching us now or may watch us later may say, "Oh my gosh, here they go! They're pushing they're being extreme. No one's talking about human trafficking." But we have to remember, in 2022, there was a brother accused of human trafficking. His wife on an American Airlines flight. He's suing. He filed a lawsuit within the past 6 months. It came
Yeah.
out earlier this year. This guy flying with his wife, identified by the flight attendant as a human trafficker, which was not the truth. So when we see this dynamic of black men with white women, there is that bias. There is that stereotype that we are some controlling Neanderthals where we don't allow white women their agency. When the opposite is true, in some cases, you might have a dynamic where a white woman has more control and power within the relationship because she knows she will be given the benefit of the doubt if there is ever a disagreement or altercation. If you have two people yelling back and forth, a black man and a white woman, and somebody calls the police are showing up, and they usually,
Hmm.
from past reports of past this prologue, will take the side of the white women almost immediately before they hear the whole story. So when it comes to power dynamics in a relationship, the optics of who we are as black men definitely lead to white people's cognitive laziness because they don't really see the actual dynamic. They just see maybe a good looking, very handsome black man, as many of us are, and they see a white woman and they think, oh, he must have mind control over this woman, when really the dynamic could be in reverse because in society, a lot of laws, we have to admit, were for the benefit of white women. Some of the initiatives that we have in our country are for the benefit of white women. So when it comes to law enforcement, when it comes to being guilty beyond suspicion, when it comes to suspending judgment, usually white women
Right.
are on the winning end of those perceptions. So that's where we kind of have to fight back against that narrative a little bit and say, hey,
Right.
let's knock it off.
Hmm.
This woman is 30 years old. She has been walking around almost naked before in various countries.
Hmm.
Let's not make it seem that Ye has some mind control over her. But I will say this, DK, if they break up in the future, dollars to donuts, if Bianca came out with a book, some tell-all book about how Ye was controlling her, and she really wanted to wear normal clothing, but Ye
Hmm.
wouldn't let her, that book would sell.
Oh yeah,
And then,
it would.
oh yeah, we were right. Ye did this,
Hmm.
Ye did that. Even though, again, this is a grown woman who has been with him for quite some time now. It's not like she's new to this relationship. She's been with him for a while. So why are we giving? Why is she above reproach but not Ye? And so that's where we see this hypocrisy playing out in
Yeah.
real time.
Yeah, yeah, and it's two things in the dynamic. Number one, we should
Hmm.
let me go on record saying women need to be protected. Not necessarily need to be protected, but they should be protected and should have control over their bodies in all the ways, whether they show their bodies or whether they make decisions about their bodies. I
Whether they
believe
cover them up.
women have the are in the driver's seat. They should be in the driver's seat, and we should protect our loved ones and protect our women, whether they're white, black, brown, of any type of nationality or whatever ethnic group, they should be protected. But they also should be respected as intelligent, powerful, and fully able to handle themselves and make decisions for themselves, especially whether they're wives or single. And in this case, she was his wife. And I'm tired of the demonization of black men and assuming the worst of a black man because he's standing there in a situation. He's standing in a situation, not saying anything, not gesturing towards her. He's next to his wife, who's wearing probably a $50,000 mink coat, well taken care of, looking really good, and she is standing next to him, um, presenting herself like a kind of classy, like a model. She doesn't look like a slave or subservient. She looks powerful. And so I'm just getting tired. I get tired of the assumption of guilt when it comes to African American men, just like you are. Colin, I think you alluded to it. But we're tired of that. And we're tired of the lack of diversity in terms of how people perceive black men because we're not all one long rap group or basketball game. There's so many different types of African American men, different types of approaches to life, intellect, ways of speaking, and all those things. And we need to just really get away from that. As we come into 2025, let's do better. Let's just do better. You know, if Kanye does a stunt, and it's Kanye West, he's doing a stunt. You
Yeah. Oh
know,
yeah.
I mean, come on.
That was the whole point.
That shouldn't even been a debate or even brought up, even by some very conservative people who panders to their audience by feeding into their belief systems. Please stop it. Just stop it. So
Yeah.
let's transition to something more fun. Let's look at this guy here. He could be speaking of diversity of black men.
Oh my goodness. Look, doesn't Willow look great though?
Oh,
Willow looks
she looks wonderful. But
yeah.
hey, let's look at the diversity of black men. This is a black man here. This is
Okay.
Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith.
What are we gonna say about this guy?
Hey,
You go ahead. You take it. I don't
he's
know what
a
to say.
I want to
I don't
say
know
he's a very good rapper. Like
Uh-huh.
this dude is very talented. He can rap. He can act very well.
I'm an icon.
And
What was that song he had? I'm an
I'm
icon.
an icon. Yeah, he was getting
Yeah.
rap.
So
Yeah,
I
and he
don't
was in that. He
that's
was in
fine.
that show. What that Netflix show? That hip hop show. It was it was a little mini series about hip hop in New York in the beginning and guys learning how to rap and all that stuff. He was in it. He actually played a character that was really talented, part of a talented rap
Oh,
group.
and the breakdown, the
Yeah,
Get
the
Down.
breakdown. Yeah,
No, the
yeah.
Get Down. I think it was called
And
the
he was
Get
the
Down.
Karate Kid. He's the Karate Kid too.
Karate Kid. He's
Karate Kid with
also the
Jackie
voice
Chan.
in he's also the voice in Neo Yokio. It's an
Yeah.
anime
Yeah. So
short that's on Netflix. So
he's a
yes,
talented guy, but he's just
he's
different.
great.
Like you were raised by two very, very creative and eclectic, and some might say unique individuals. Will Smith and what's his name? I'm sorry, Jada Pinkett Smith.
Jada
Those are
Pinkett,
your
correct?
parents. You grew up in
Juice
Hollywood.
World and
You
Cinema.
are a different kid. You're not like any other kid in the world, probably. I mean, there may be
Yeah,
some other Jaden Smiths out there, but he's
he was
different.
in. We also can't forget After Earth. He was in After Earth.
Yeah,
A
that was a
lot of
bad
people did
movie.
not like that movie,
Yeah, it was
but
okay.
did you see that?
Yeah,
Did you see that movie?
I watched. I fell asleep on it. It was
You
okay.
did? You fell asleep? I know it had that
It was
overall
okay.
message of
Yeah.
environmentalism and
Mhm.
sustainability and stuff like that. I didn't
Yeah.
mind it. It was
It
to
was
me it
okay.
was kind of cool to see father and son.
Yeah.
It always warms my heart when I see that. Whether it's Bronny James and
Yeah.
LeBron, whether it's Jaden and Will. I like to see that. You know what I mean? Let me
Yeah.
ask you this though. What is he wearing on his head? Is that a house?
I think it's a castle. It's a
It's a
castle.
castle?
I think it's
But
the
I've
castle. It's
never heard
actually a
the term.
specific castle, though. It's supposed to be a specific castle.
Is it
Let's
a
see what
castle?
that is.
But let me put it this way, DK.
Mm-hmm.
I have never heard the term castle Negro before. So maybe it's a house. No, I'm just saying. I'm just. I don't know. I don't know.
I
I'm
guess
just
after certain.
guessing. I'm just guessing. I don't know the meaning.
Whoa!
What's the meaning?
I'm not sure.
I mean, it looked like a
I'm not
house,
sure that's what he was going for, though. But
and it looked like a house, and he's a Negro. So it's like, what's he going for there?
you know what?
I don't
Hold on.
know. Am I
Someone did
is he
describe
not
it
a
as
furry? Am I
as a haunted house.
exaggerating? Is he not a Negro? Is he not wearing a house? Like, what's
I
going
don't.
on?
You know what? I will not comment on that. But I will not. I will not call
You don't want to
any
get in
black
trouble. You don't want to
man.
get. Hey,
I'm
It's
not
like
call. I
saying
would not
before
call
your
any
spouse,
African American
you
man
still want to be
a
invited to
house
the
or a
cookout.
castle Negro. So that's not me.
You
So that's.
you still want to be invited to the cookout.
I'm still going to the cookout. Okay, I'm going to get
You're still
there.
going to the cookout.
I'm
I
getting
am
a
not going to
burger, a
the
big
cookout.
piece of chicken, and all that. Like, hey,
Hey man, bring me back some to go. Okay,
I'm bringing
bring
you
me
back
back some.
some warm potato salad that's been sitting out in the sun all day.
Oh, oh man. Hey, at least I know it'll be halfway good. At least I
Yeah,
know
you
it'll be
know it will
halfway
be.
good,
It really
right?
will be. It really
Yeah,
will be. But shout outs
yeah.
to Jaden and Willow Smith. They really come
Willow.
into their own as actresses
Mhm.
and performers and very talented. And I love seeing them. And I look forward to seeing what they continue to do because they're still very young. They have a ways to go. And Willow has some music that I really really vibe with. She has some very popular
Yeah.
music, even beyond "Whip Your Hair Back and Forth" when she was a kid. She has some songs that are very
Oh,
very
there's a
good.
song called "Wait a Minute"
Yeah,
that I
wait a
really
minute.
like.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I actually dig
yeah.
that tune, man.
That's a
Like
really
her
good song.
voice,
Yeah.
huh?
A very good song. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a really good song. I think she
Hmm.
performed at Coachella, I believe, or
Yeah.
Burning Man, one of those things. But yeah, I really think it's good. She
Uh,
is 24.
yep.
Jaden is 26. These guys are not even 30 yet. They have so many years ahead of them to do great things. Listen, I'm having a little fun with Jaden Smith there. I'm a fan. I mean, like I said, he's been in some good stuff. Talented guy. I like the song Icon. I
Hmm.
can't say I understand all the things he does. I think he went to prom in like a white Batman outfit, if I'm not mistaken. He's done some kind of weird, questionable, well,
You know.
weird in my opinion,
Yeah.
questionable things that I guess mean something. But
Yeah.
to me, whatever the meaning is, it's a bit too esoteric or arcane for my tastes. Let's put it
Yeah.
that
It's
way.
kind of
Willow,
like
I
what.
get. Willow's doing her thing.
There's some things that you can't do. Like there's some rules that your parents instill in you, like to help you survive in life. But when you have the silver spoon, you can do almost anything. Break all the rules, and you're still going to survive because your parents are of means. You know, like you don't.
Or if you
The
even
only
if you
thing,
get rich, even if you're not born with a silver
yeah.
spoon in your mouth, and you end up being very wealthy because you're so talented, and then you
Mm-hmm.
just go up in an award show and just slap somebody in the face. I mean, because you're that, you feel
Ooh,
that entitled. Oh no, I
ooh.
stepped in it again,
Oh,
didn't I?
you went
Oh,
after dad. You went after
yeah,
daddy. Okay.
yeah, oh man,
Oh, you went after
they're
Will.
not inviting me
Okay.
to the cookout in 2026 either.
I don't know
Apparently,
if they have a cookout. They're probably eating like all veggies and something. Like
like
can
all
you know,
vegan.
corns on the cob and carrot stuff, carrot cake with no eggs in it, and
Well,
no, no,
hold
thank
on.
you. I'm good.
I love me some good carrot cake.
Yeah, but you
I
gotta
love
have
some
some
good
eggs
carrot
in it
cake.
though. You gotta. I don't want. I don't want baked goods with no dairy in it. Okay, don't give me none of that crap. Don't give me none of that
No
crap.
dairy. Okay, okay.
Give
No
me.
no
You know
nut
what?
milks in it. You don't want
Give
you don't
me a
want
steak
baked
next to my
goods with the nut
vegetables.
milks
Huh?
with the you don't want baked goods with the nut milks with the
No, no, I
almond
don't.
and the
No, I don't.
rice and the
No, no, I
okay.
won't. None of that. I don't. As a
Really?
matter of fact, if you show me like some because some of the vegan stuff I'm okay with. When it's
Yeah.
really just vegetables and you put some spices on it or some seasoning, cool. But when you start having all the science in there to make it look like a hot dog, and you have these different colorations and chemicals in it to make it taste like a half smoke, just give me the meat. I don't want
Yeah.
I don't want the science projects. Give me the veggies. I'm
The
fine
real
with it.
stuff.
Give me the creative dishes. I'm fine with it. Just don't start getting into the science project into things where you're making burgers out of wheat germ and soy products. I don't want that crap.
Wheat, German soy,
I don't want flavoring.
carrageenan
Yeah, I don't want
to
anything that was in a
stabilize
lab added to my burger to make it taste more like a burger. The coloring and all that stuff. I don't want any of that. I just want like if I want a burger, give me a
it. Yeah.
burger. If I'm
Here's
vegan, just give me vegetables and crap and whatever.
one of the things I was thinking of is that when you're using alternative to dairy milk, you've got
Mm-hmm.
almond milk, you've got soy, you've got rice milk, right?
Yeah,
And really, when you think about it, it's actually juice because you're taking the contents and you're mixing
right.
it with water, and then you're blending it up. That's really juice, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
but
in
it's
some
not milk.
cases,
Milk is like when you
see,
take like
yeah,
the feeding
yeah,
the sustenance or the food of a particular animal that's
mm-hmm.
produced by an animal used to feed younger animals or the baby of that species, right? So
Yep,
that would be the milk. So the thing is, though, Derek, or excuse me, the thing is that you can't really call it nut juice. That you can't
Yeah,
call
it
it.
doesn't sound. That doesn't sound appetizing.
It's not- It doesn't
Somebody
sound
might
good.
find it appetizing. It doesn't sound too good.
You
That
can't call
doesn't
it nut
sound good
juice.
at
You got to
all.
call it nut milk.
You got got nut milk, and now it sounds even worse after you say nut juice. Now I don't. No, I really don't want it.
Well, you,
No, it sounds like something. Sounds like something you
it's
say to your
worse.
girl after you. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm going to cut myself off right there. Like when you're in your teens or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever, you're like in college and you're talking to your girl. Hey, come and get some of
Hey,
this.
you want some nut
Okay.
juice?
Yeah, like that's
What?
hey, yep. Like
But I can kind of see why they call it
that's
that.
followed by a slap, whatever. Yeah.
But back to the Smiths though. I do think that yeah, they do live like kind of a life of privilege. They probably do have some amazing cookouts though. So if you're watching
Hmm.
this, Smiths, I'm just kidding around. I'd love to try your vegan carrot cake, which almost sounds silly. Like how could a carrot cake not be vegan? But I'd like to try your vegan whatever beef or chicken you got going on over there. If you have an awesome cookout. But yeah, I don't understand the
And
house or the
and a message to
castle on the
Jada
hill.
from Derek. If you like nerdy black guys that are kind of chubby, then Jada, give me a call if Will says it's okay. Thank you. All right.
You know, yeah, I was gonna say, you know, she does because you know, before Tupac was the Tupac we knew him as, he was kind of a drama kid.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
kind of
he's
a
a
nerd.
dork.
He was kind of a nerd.
Yeah, yeah. He found out what worked and he rolled with it. He's like, "What? This is what they want from black men? You want me to be a gangster? I'll be a gangster.
I'll be
Here you go."
gangsta. I'll be
And
gangsta.
you know what? That's the sad thing is a lot of our most talented actors and actresses find that niche, and sometimes that niche is being what people believe you to be. And for Tupac, that is that character from Juice. Like once he went to we see that character in Juice was kind of like a little hoodie, kind of a hood gangster type of dude that learned how to be tough. Once he found a gun,
Hmm.
he started intimidating everybody. I think he became that character. And
Yeah,
even though you see the videos of him back with Jada dancing like a little prissy Jaden Smith, because he was kind of prissy. He's a prissy. He
that's what I
wasn't he
mean.
wasn't like gangster when he was in Baltimore. He was a drama
No,
kid. He was,
yeah.
and he had all the mannerisms of a person that's around a lot of women. Because
Hmm.
drama, of course, is not really the most masculine area to be around.
Nope.
So he was very prissy. He wasn't shirt off thug life from a belly type of dude. He became that when he realized that's the way to go for stardom. That's why a lot of neither was Dr. Dre. There's a lot of black men that found out that hey, if you give America what they believed you to be, I'm not going to say that's what he said, but you can make a lot of money. And
Yeah.
they did. They made a lot of money, a lot of popularity. Dre was with the Cold no what was it, the Stone Cold Lever Crew. Remember Dr. Dre? He was I'm Dr. Dre. I'm the da, da, da. You don't remember that? Okay, well, I won't talk. I won't go
Oh,
there.
you talking
But
about
he
Dre
basically
and
was
Ed?
part of
You're talking about Dr. Dre and Ed Lover, Dr. Dre. You're talking Dr.
no,
Dre
no, Dr.
NWA.
Dre, the NWA Dr. Dre, NWA.
Before he was in NWA.
Yeah, he was. Let's see if I can pull it up.
Hmm.
Dr. Dre
I remember. I don't remember,
before.
man. I was into my New York style hip hop, man.
Oh
San
gosh, no,
Francisco
and
hip
this
hop,
is
Public Enemy, BDP, X Clan, to
yeah.
the
Let's.
east, Sizzy.
Oh
You remember
gosh, yeah, those
X?
dudes were great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Those were my boys right there, X Clan, man. So I wasn't really
All
jumping
right, so
into
let's pull up
the
this.
whole
Let's put this picture very quickly of Dr.
yeah.
Dre, if we
Okay.
can, if it'll show
Yeah.
up, because I know there's
Was
a
that
lot
when
of.
isn't he? Didn't he date Miss Chalet?
Yeah, that's a whole story about that, and that did seem
Yeah.
kind of gangster. Now that was an interesting situation. We could go there.
Yeah. Right.
Let's see if
Yeah.
we. And that might be a case of abuse or neglect or something, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. That's a whole different story, right? They left that out
That's a
of the
whole other
NWA
story right
documentary.
there. Yeah, that's a whole
Yeah.
other story. Yeah, that's true.
All right. So yeah, he was not he was not gangster. He was not gangster. Okay, here we go.
Hey man, do you think that we can get?
That's Dr.
Oh
Dre.
wow, you look like you
Now,
went to Oak
were
Tree.
you now? Are
Oak
you
Tree by
intimidated
the
by this
mall. Remember
guy?
when they used to have that store, Oak Tree or Le
Yep.
Chateau
Hey,
in the
that's Chateau.
mall?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what it looks like. You went there and got all drizzed up,
Yep. That's Dr. Dre. That's Dr. Dre before
right?
NWA. Yeah. So
Yeah,
he wanted to be Mr. Cool Lover Man.
he looks like Pharrell there. He looks like he was like Pharrell.
And Pharrell is on this side of the spectrum again, like we talked about earlier. Nice. I mean, and nothing wrong with Pharrell. Like I said, he's just not gangster. And he'll probably tell
Right,
you
right.
himself. He's
There's
he's
nothing wrong with that. But
pink shirt on skateboard, soft.
yeah.
And Dr. Dre is, especially now, he even got beefed up where he got, you know,
Oh, he got
all
jacked
the
up.
full
A
other
lot of those
side. Yeah,
guys did.
yeah.
Dre, Fitty, Dave Chappelle. Dave
Hmm.
Chappelle was jacked up a few years ago, though. He's kind of
Yeah.
looks like he's kind of laid
Tapering
off the
off. He's
weight
kind
the past
of,
couple of years. He's
yeah.
tapering off. But all those guys that came out, I was like, yo, man, looks like they're ready for a boxing match.
I
Some of
think
these, man.
I do want to say, I see, because Method Man too. Method Man's really gotten like
Meth
fit.
was another one.
Method's really gotten there. Like, okay, yeah.
Buster
LL Cool
went through
J,
his
Method
ups and
Man,
downs.
Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes, I think he got this fat now. Like, I think he's just kind of like,
Yeah, yeah,
he's
he's got
just
a
kind
lot
of
of
like me, like
muscle.
this chunky. Like, hey, look, I'm old enough
You
to be
remember when
chunky and
Busta
still get it.
Rhymes first came on the scene, though?
Oh
That
yeah,
dude was a pole.
yeah,
That guy was a pole when he first. Leaders
man.
of the New School. It's like, yo, that Busta must have gained about a good
But
100 since
his
then.
voice has always been grown, though. He always had a grown man voice.
Oh yeah, no, he had the voice. That's why he was so famous, man. That's how he
Yeah.
became so popular. He had that voice, right? Rah rah, like a dungeon dragon. Yo, I mean, that guy has transformed so much. You know who stayed the same though is Redman, man. Redman looks like he lost mad weights even since
I
he was
think
really mainstream.
he's a testimony. Here's Busta Rhymes. Here we go. Here's
That's
Busta.
Busta. That's
And you can
Busta when
see
he was
he's
kind of
looking.
shaped. I
Ah,
mean,
yeah.
I mean,
He
he
look.
definitely weighs more than he did when he first came out. But you look
Yeah.
at him now, now
Yep.
that he's in a little bit of trouble, unfortunately, and you
Yeah,
compare him to
sadly.
this picture
Yeah.
right here, I think he has on more weight now than he does in that picture.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's your boy Busta. Really
Busta,
raw. Dungeon Dragon.
yeah, the
He's right there in
scenario,
the
man,
middle.
that
He's not like
classic
he's not.
song, the scenario.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
He's
I
not.
was thinking about
Yeah.
Tribe the other day. What was their latest hit? And it reminded me of the
Mm,
of where we are today, of just different demographics not being embraced, not being accepted, just people being ostracized, marginalized. The song they performed it on Saturday Night Live. I think it was called "We the People." Have you
oh
ever heard
yeah.
this song?
Okay.
Yeah, it was called "We the People." They, just how we, what is it? Black step back,
Mm,
Mexicans. We don't want you around. I forgot the lyrics, but it
right.
had that kind of imagery of marginalized groups being pushed away. And I feel like we're almost in that time now where a lot of different groups are looking at each other, pointing fingers at each other. They're not desirable. So we're in an
Yeah.
interesting time right now with that too. Speaking of A Tribe Called Quest, always trying to stay current, always
Hmm.
tapping into the zeitgeist to some degree. It's a very interesting
Yeah.
how prophesying these hip hop songs can be sometimes, right?
Right.
For all the criticism that they get, when you really listen to some of the content of the more substantive songs, they actually look like they're telling the future.
Oh
They actually,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah, we the people, man.
We the
But
people. All right.
we the people. But listen, man. I gotta run. I gotta
All
run.
right.
We're almost at that
So
time.
do I. I need to go
And,
find a Super Bowl party somewhere. I need some wings and
yeah, I
beer.
got the
All
Super Bowl.
right.
We'll see. We're gonna check back here, see who wins, and see who has the bragging rights. Because you predicted Eagles. I'm
Philly.
thinking
Philly by
Chiefs. Even though I
7.
don't mind if the Eagles win.
Yeah. And I really do like Andy Reid. I'm an Andy Reid fan because he did. I wish he had got his win at the Eagles. Cause so you're looking at the former coach of the Eagles against
Hmm.
the modern Eagles, and he couldn't. He got to the Super Bowl with the Eagles, but he couldn't win it. He had
Right.
Donovan McNabb back in the day. Yeah, but he's one of the best coaching minds I think in the history of the NFL. One of the best. He's probably the top 5 probably when it comes to coaching a team, especially now where his team is not as talented as they were 3 or 4 years ago. So,
Right.
all right.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say too, really quickly, if
Mm-hmm.
you have not, speaking about scantily clad women and football coaches, Bill
that
Belichick.
that'll get some
Hello, I
ratings.
mean,
Hey,
if you get a
yep.
chance, check out Bill Belichick on the red carpet for the. It wasn't the ESPYS. Was it the
Was it
ESPYS?
the ESPYS?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sports
Or is it
awards
where they
where
get the awards?
Jaden Daniels got his award. Yeah, you got to check that out. Like
Was
that
he there with
was
his young woman?
he was there with his lady. That is for sure. And
And he's what,
hoping that
70?
people were not really talking about him so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Again, they're not. Is there anybody talking about him at 72 years old, taking advantage? Is he taking advantage of her? Was there questions
That's
of
another
that?
thing. People aren't really
You know?
talking about that.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, she's what, in her early 20s or mid 20s?
yeah. But I guess people know what that is. He's rich and she likes it.
And
So,
she's reaping all those benefits. She's reaping,
hey,
and listen, a lot of women
and
would
so is
like to
she.
be in her position. We're going to be talking about that too in upcoming episodes about
Yeah.
the gender dynamic and
What do women really
expectations of
want?
different
Yeah,
gender roles within a
I don't
relationship.
know.
So
Hmm.
there's a lot to discuss on FNU, right, BK?
It sure is. It sure is. We're gonna talk about all of it. We're gonna get in trouble. Good trouble. Good trouble.
Good trouble. That's
Yeah, get
right.
in
Good
trouble.
trouble.
I hope. All right.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right. See you, man. Thank you for joining us. All of you watching out there, we'll see you next time on FNU, Fresh and Unfiltered.